What's up, guys? Hey, it's your man Jimmy Chan here. So I want to make this quick video because when you guys go into week 8, you're gonna see a couple of things there. So number one, in week 8, so this is obviously when you log into Canvas. This is the page that you see as a home page. I will always have the current week up here in the center. If you want to join our Zoom meetings in terms of needing help or any of my classes for 1033, which is Monday and Wednesday at 8 a.m., at noon, and at 2 p.m. Obviously, there's a direct link to My Labs Plus as well, my office hours, but you guys can ask for help anytime you guys want to. I typically am willing to help without a problem, no matter if I'm driving or not, any time till 6 p.m. at night. If you have a question, sometimes I'll answer you with a video reply. So all of those things are there. And don't forget that there is a calendar / timelines just so we can see what's going on. So when you guys click on week 8, one of the questions that pops up is, what is due for this week? So week 8, it gives you the dates here, right? To the 21st to the 27th, and today's the 23rd, so we're clearly in week 8, right? So it says, please complete all boxes by Saturday at 6 p.m. So everything in here is what is due for this week. Some of those boxes are nothing. Some of the boxes you've already completed, right? So like, for example, the proctoral syllabus quiz is still open. Well, I don't know if it's still open. I gotta check the deadline there. If the deadline has passed for the proctoral, just send me a message and I'll push it back. But obviously you guys need that to be eligible to take any exams. So that is there. And it's going to keep on pairing every single week until everybody has passed it. All right. And the ones that have already spoken to me about taking all of their exams in class, you guys don't need to take it. All right. Next thing is, don't forget that Lab Work 7 got pushed back from this past Saturday to Wednesday at 6 p.m. Now, if you click on Lab Work 7, what you will see is that within this box, you see that 6.1, 6.2 notes and 6.3 notes will assist you in this lab work. So feel free to click on those for the lectures and the lecture notes so that you can kind of see how to assist you in Lab Work 7. All right. So going back here, there's also a grade calculator. So this is my main thing that I wanted to talk about here. So when you click on here, so number one, this is grade calculator after exam 2, and notice the note here, must be downloaded and open in Excel. If you do not have Excel, when you log into your portal, so my.fsw.edu, you will see a link here for Office 365. As a FSW student, you actually get Office 365 for free. So go ahead and feel free to use that. You also have OneDrive for free there as well, and you have a free Google account as well. So you guys got plenty of resources here. But Office 365, you can use the Excel that's on here currently. So when I hit Office 365, it opens a new window. And it's going to load and load and load. But if you want to, after you download that grade calculator, you can put it in your OneDrive, and then you're able to pull it up right here, and then you can use the web version of Excel. We'll keep on letting that load. I'll come back to it. All right. So when I click here, it will show me a preview of this. The preview you won't be able to manipulate because it's not in Excel. It's not downloaded. It's just giving you a preview of what it is, right? Notice that there is actually 2 sheets here, okay? So you gotta click here to download it. And when download, it'll come here, which is to your downloads folder. You're gonna click on that and it'll open in Excel. I'm not sure which window it's gonna, it popped up in the same exact window. All right, so this is what you got. So let me enable this. Editing. So you have 2 tabs here. One is if you took both exams, and one is if you missed an exam. And if you hit tab, if you notice that there is only these 4, this one, and this one that you can actually manipulate. Other than that, you can't manipulate anything else on this sheet. If you go on here, there's 5 tabs that you can manipulate. This one here, this one here, this one here, exam 1, exam 2, and that is it. All right. So if you're, and it does will tell you, you are at the right tab if you took both exam 1 and exam 2. If you missed an exam, it'll say you are at the right tab if you missed either exam 1 or exam 2. All right. So let's say, for example, that I go to, actually, let me do this. I'm going to do student view. So that this is exactly what you would see on your Canvas, and click on grades. I'm the so-called test student in the grade book here. So I gave myself some grades here. So scroll all the way to the bottom. You see the My Last Plus average for me is a 66.06. So I come over here. Oh, sorry. Let me start over. So 1 is to pick the correct tab. Step 2, it says, what is your desired final grade numerically for this class? So let's say I want to pass with a C. So that would be a 70%. Okay. Then the next thing it asks is My Last Plus assignment average. So that is what I'm getting from Canvas. So that is the 66.06. So I gotta click here and put down 66.06. Then it asks for lab work average. So I go back, and the lab work average is at 85%. So I'm going to click here and put down 85%. And then this is the exam you took. Now, I'm in the tab that is missing one of the exams because when I scroll up here, I only have one exam that I took. I can't find exam 2 in here anywhere. So that means exam 1 is the only one I took. So that means I'm missing exam 2. I have exam 1, so the only exam I took is right here, which was a 50%. Okay, so this is what this is telling. This 73 is telling me is that if I want to see, if I want to get a 70% in this class, okay, if I want to get the 70% in this class with these current averages that I have, I need to average a 73% in exam 3, exam 4, and the final exam to get that 70. And that is assuming that I will maintain my homework average and my lab work average. Okay. So the other thing that you might want to think about is saying, okay, instead of just 70, which gets me a 73. So if you average on those next 3 exams, 3, 4, and the final, and you average a 72, now you just got dropped down to a D because that'd be lower than a 70. So you might not want to just, you want to type in the 70 here to see what the minimum is, but you might also want to type in 75 to see, okay, so I need to average between a 73 and an 81 to really get my C. So maybe you should have that higher goal so that in case, if anything, God forbid, happens, you are going to be okay with that C. Okay, so that's something to think about there. The other thing is, I want to go back to 70 here. So if you notice that that's a 73, that I need to average between exam 3, exam 4, and the final exam. Okay, now this past week I had My Last Plus open, and some of you guys said, screw it. You know, whatever it is, whatever, it's only 10% of my grade anyways, so no big deal. Now, I want to show you if I actually went back in and made everything 100%, so that my average would be 100%, look at what just happened. It just dropped 5% of what I need to really get. And let's look at what 75 showed me. To a 75, right? So now if my aim was a 73, woo, I'm good. Right? So that is something to kind of think about there. Now, let's say I did take exam 1 and exam 2, right? So I would have to pick this tab right here, which is both exams, right? My desired grade is still at 70. My lab plus grade was 66.06, I believe. My lab work was, I think, 85%. Let's say my exam 1 and exam 2 were both 50%. Okay? So you might be thinking, my goodness, I can't pass this class. Well, actually you can, right? So you need to average at 80% on exam 3, 4, and the final exam to get a 70. And between an 80 and a 90 is what I want to average to make sure I get for sure a C in this class. Now, next time My Last Plus opens and you change that My Last Plus average to 100%, now look at what you do. You got to set between an 83 and a 73. Okay, so between a 73 and 83, and you can get your C still. So you have some work to do, okay, but it's not that far-fetched, right? From a 55 to a 73, I mean, from 50% to a 73% isn't that far-fetched. In the past, I know a lot of students will ask me, hey, should I drop this course? Should I not drop this course? The question comes back to you, right? So the reply I will always have is, are you willing to make changes? If you're not willing to make changes and still do exactly what you're doing, which got you the 50% on exam 1 and exam 2 as it is, well, then it's not going to really help you, okay? So if you're not willing to make any changes, then I would tell you, yeah, you should drop. However, if you are saying, you know what, this is a good message to me that I need to get my butt in gear, I need to really focus on that My Last Plus and get that to 100% whenever it opens again, and keep up with the current homeworks, and you know, really focus on that lab work. And if I raise that lab work grade, let's say even to a 90%, everything else still drops. So these two things right here are in your control, okay? Are in your control, especially in My Last Plus. The My Last Plus is definitely in your control. That's something that you have a variety of things that could assist you in those. The lab work, yes, you have to show work, but I promise you, if you just apply the concepts in those lectures to the lab work, you will show the correct work and everything else will be good, okay? So now, if let's say these are my grades and I wanted an A, right? So what you will see is that you will need to average 112 points every single exam. Well, that's not going to help, right? That's not going to work because you can't get 112%. So that's why I said right here, if you see red box and a number with a strike through it, it means that you cannot get your desired final grade, which is this point right here. So you cannot get an A if these were your averages at this time. So, but an 80 is still possible, and a 70 is still possible. Okay, so you can still be able to get a B if you really wanted to do that. Okay, now what's the other thing I wanted to do? Let me see here. Okay, so let's say that these are my current averages. I still want to see, and it tells me that I need to average 80% on my next 3 exams. Okay, I want you to look at that as, so 3 times 80 is 240. Okay, so think of it as 240 points. Okay, so let's say we got 240 points. Essentially, that's how many points that you want to get between now and to the final. So exam 3, exam 4, and the final exam, you want to average 80%. That means you got to get 240 points there. Okay, so if I can get 80, 80, and 80 if I want to, that's 240 points. If I get 100% on exam 3, that means I only got to get, so 240 minus 100 will be 140 left, so I could actually get 70 and 70. Right? So the more work you put in now, the less pressure you will have in the remaining exams. Okay, so that's something to really think about as you're going through this. And there will be another grade calculator after exam 3, and there will be a grade calculator after exam 4, so that you kind of know what you need for your final exam at the end before you even get to the final exam. All right, so hopefully that will answer your questions. And the people who haven't taken the proctoral quiz, please hurry up and get that done. If you have already taken the proctoral quiz, please don't forget that there are certain setups that you need even when you're taking the exam. So you may want to go back to the proctoral quiz and retake it just to say, hey, Chan, is the setup right? And then take your exam. If you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. That's the reason why the very first question tells you to stop, make sure these things are in that frame. So read through that to go, okay, I got that done, right? If your camera is in the right place, all right? If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to ask. Send me a message via email, via Canvas inbox, whatever you guys want to do. Like I said, if I can, I will probably reply to you as a video just so that you can hear me explain things through for you, all right? Well, hopefully that helps. If there's any questions, let me know.